Today we're working on a 1992 Ford Bronco 351 Windsor engine. Little backstory: I was going to work Friday, this last Friday, about a week ago, and got about a mile down the road, and the truck started cutting out, and it just immediately died. Got it over to the side of the road, tried to crank it, just turned over and over and over, and wouldn't do anything. I'm in Texas, of course, but oddly enough, it was 22 degrees that morning. Had a little ice on the ground from some snow and sleet. I decided to go ahead and drive the Bronco into the depot where I work. Well, went, called the wife. She came, picked me up, took me to work. Got back that evening and started working on this thing. First thing I thought it was going to be was this ignition control module over here in the fender. This is a remote ignition control module. It is installed in a aluminum heat sink. Normally you see these on some of the other Fords, older Fords as well. It's mounted on the side of the distributor, and they are notorious for just going out and stranding you on the side of the road or in the parking lot at a store or whatnot. It'll just turn over and over and over and just not fire. They relocated it to the fender well because of that reason, that the heat was making them fail. But I took the module out and had it tested today. Went to O'Reilly's, about 36 miles away from where I live. That's the only parts store in my area that had a tester for it. Before I did that, I pulled the original distributor out right here. Went ahead and tried to disassemble it just in case if I broke anything, I wouldn't have to drive all the way back to the parts store and get a distributor. Well, I put a gear puller on it. That's the only thing I have. And went to pull the gear off. Well, this is a cast iron gear, and broke one of the gear teeth right there and made the distributor pretty much useless unless I put another gear on it. Really, the proper way would be to have a press and some press plates that completely surround that shaft, and you can press it out. Then you'll have to press this out, which is, they both have pins in them. This one's out because I took it out. But once you press those out, the shaft will slide out the end, and then you will be able to take out the pickup coil, which is down in the bottom of the distributor, and put a new one in, and that's how you change the pickup coil. Well, I got down there. They tested, of course, the ignition control module. They tested good, and he tested it a good 6 times. Normally you're supposed to only do it 3, but told him, heck, if it's going to fail, and let it fail now. I don't have to drive all the way back up here and get another one. So it passed with flying colors. Brought the distributor back from the store, installed the distributor. Pretty easy, simple, straightforward, no problem. Got it all done, went and cranked the truck, and the truck would just turn over and over and over and still would not fire. I still had a no start condition. So I went back and I got my spark checker. You put it in line. You can put it in line between the spark plug and the distributor, or you can put it in line between the coil and the distributor and see if you're getting spark. Well, I put it in there and I had 0 spark, which was quite surprising because before I ever jacked with it, I checked spark, and it had very light amount. It did not completely light up the checker, but I had spark, so I thought, well, maybe my coil's not bad after all. Well, lo and behold, most likely it was the coil. Maybe had a little bit to do with the distributor as well, because the pickup coil and the distributor itself, where the distributor rotates and you have the slots there in the distributor, and that's what on off signal that it sends out. it had slightly melted. Didn't have any contact, it just slightly melted. So I went ahead, it's money well spent, $90 for a completely new distributor, new cap, new, everything, where the pickup coil itself is $65. So I don't think that was a bad deal anyway. So I went, got me a coil at O'Reilly's and installed that coil, plugged everything back up, and it still turned over and over and over. But this time I floored the accelerator and held it down as it turned over, and it started kicking over and finally caught. I don't doubt it was flooded. I mean, the injectors are firing with no spark. You flooding the engine, that's a given. But once I got it, cleared out, it fired up and started running. Went back and set the timing. I set it at 10 degrees with the little jumper pulled out. There's a jumper right here. You pull the jumper out, of course, to set the timing. Once I got it set, put the jumper in, purred like a kitten, no problems whatsoever. One of the indicators that I got when I ran a code scan on this vehicle before I ever started working on it was code 212. Code 212 in the manual is loss of ignition diagnostic monitor signal / spout circuit grounded. That helped out a little bit. I mean, it got me in the ballpark about where I needed to look, but it doesn't tell you what the problem is. It could be anything. I mean, I've read things that it could have been a grounded wire somewhere, but I've got it fixed. I hope this helps you guys out. Gives you a little insight of what you're probably going to have to go through. I spent about $115 plus some gas to get this repaired, and now it runs, and hopefully it doesn't strand me on the side of the road, because that's not any fun. But I appreciate you watching my video, and if you have any questions, just ask them below the video, and I'll be more than happy to try to help, like on the rest of my videos. I appreciate you watching. Bye.